Another benefit I had from being in that sketchy unit was that our average age was a lot higher. I think the average was like 28 or 29, which a whole lot, that's a decade higher than your average like infantry unit. With like more life experience, not just military experience, but more life experience. And that makes a lot of difference both in how you personally handle stuff, but also that you're able to talk with your buddies about it without feeling that you have to be this macho man. So you can actually, you get back from a mission and you did some sketchy shit, but you can sit down with your buddies and talk about it instead of just trying to play it off. And I think that helped a lot.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 2 of the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast. I am Miyanovich, and I will be your pilot on an unprecedented ride through the most innovative and forward-thinking analysis of the relationship between humans and guns on planet Earth. The entire nexus between guns and public safety needs a wake-up call, and Liberal Gun Owners is here to rock that party. Are you somebody who thinks you know what's going on with guns and public safety? I don't give a shit. I'm dragging your ass into the future whether you like it or not.
Two. Checking it, checkity check. I'm gonna checkity check. Checky check wrecker. Fucking check it, suck it. Hello everybody, Miyanovich here, back with another exciting episode for you. Hey, listen, we have a milestone coming up. The 100th episode of the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast is coming. Thank you so much for sticking with me this far. I have a special series planned for this episode, number 100, so stay tuned. But for this episode, episode 99, we have also a fucking special thing going on. We are getting to know someone. Getting to know you. Getting to know everything about you. Today's episode is an interview with Miyanovich Nielsen. Martin is an LGO developer and a Danish Special Forces veteran. He is a lifelong shooter who was raised by a father who is an avid hunter and trap shooter. Martin was a small arms instructor during his time in both the regular army and during the time when he was in special operations. This includes everything from pistol to rifle to crew-served weapons. Martin is also an active run and gunner and does competitions regularly in his home state of Texas. He has a very deep and fascinating history as a gunner, and that's why we are glad to have him here as a developer for LGO, and we are glad to have him on the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast. So, without further ado, please join me for this conversation with Dark Odin 2023, the Dead Viking, the Edgelord of Miemenstoffen, sketchy shit team leader, Miyanovich Nielsen.
Miyanovich Nielsen, welcome to the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast, man. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I've been wanting to have you on for a long time. I have a long list of people that I try to get to because you have a unique experience in the community. I like to get voices up from our own community, not just outsiders. I want people to get to know us more, maybe introduce them to the chicanery and the craziness of our humor and the things that we're doing on a daily basis behind the scenes. So you're one of the, people will learn this from the bio that I'll record in advance. You're one of the main cats in the firearms development group and a Liberal Gun Owners developer. So it's good to have you here, man. So I wanted to start off by talking to you about your dad. Actually, in this interview, I'm going to get to learn more about you as a friend than I normally, or I'm going to get to know more about you and because I have curiosities that I've never asked you questions about. So
yeah, for sure. And normally we're in a group setting, so we don't get this one-on-one that we do now. So
yeah, I wish I had more time to actually call everybody and talk to them and be like, how are you doing and shit. But I'm just so busy that I would have no time for me if I did that.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Denmark. You are not from the United States of America. So people should know that. And your dad was an avid shooter, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me about growing up in Denmark with your dad?
Yeah, so he grew up. He was born right at the end of World War II in '44, and out in the country, like small village, and kind of grew up in that after war era. For those who don't know, Denmark was occupied by Germany for several years, and wasn't the Germans didn't leave until '45, like right at the end of the war. So that also left partly a lot of poverty, just because they left a whole mess, but also a lot of guns that were just around, between the ones that the Germans just dropped when they got out of there, and then ones that were dropped for the resistance movement, or that they made or stole somewhere. So there were a lot of guns around, and growing up in the country, you hunt. Because just so when he was a small kid, he learned to shoot and go hunt, because that's just what you had to do there. And it was just a natural part of life at that time.
So when you hunt in Denmark, like I don't even understand the geography mainly. It's like forest?
It's a lot of forest and hill country. There's a lot of deer. They're generally smaller than American deer, but there's a lot of them.
And still to this day, there's hunting in Denmark,
yeah.
And it's the same.
Yeah. Well, there isn't a whole lot of public land to hunt on. But it's still a thing.
So when your dad was hunting, he was using like milsurp.
Yeah.
Probably,
mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. K98K is great for deer.
Yeah, totally. And do those calibers and those rifles, are they still prevalent there because of that? What happened post World War II?
They are, yeah. It's them, and then there's a lot of Swedish Mausers around too that just came in later. A lot of those probably came in to the resistance movement. So for like nowadays, like the two most prevalent deer hunting calibers over there are .308 Winchester, which obviously a post-war but common, also used in military over there for many years, and then 6.5 by 55 Swedish Mauser. That's the other one.
Yeah. So what is it like over there? We'll talk about your dad a little bit more, but what is it like over there in terms of pistols and self-defense and concealed carry and all of that
stuff? It's basically concealed carry is non-existent unless you're a political lizard or a friend of a political lizard. Then you can get a carry permit, but if you're not, you can't. And by political lizard, I mean like at state level. Local politicians don't get to do that. So that's not really a thing. Sport shooting is pretty big, including with pistols, but it's kind of like the old the import laws in the US, where they have to be a certain size and have to have a sporting purpose. You can't get a compact gun. Minimum for a sporting pistol over there has to be a minimum of 210 millimeters, which is basically any full size semi-auto or a 4-inch revolver would fit into that.
And is there like a sporting license you have to get?
Yes, there is. It's more restrictive with pistols. You have to. Well, it might have changed. It's been a while since I was into the laws over there, but you had to have. You had to be a member of a shooting club, which is a whole different thing over there, much more organized than it is here. And you had to be a member for a minimum of 2 years, and member in good standing, and pass background check. And I think for pistols you had to be 21. But then you can buy pistols. Each of them is registered, and you have to get a permit for each pistol.
And you can own your ammunition and own it at home. It's not one of those things you have to keep it at the club.
Well, unless they changed it since I was there. I've been over here for 11, 12 years. But back then, yeah, you could keep your ammunition at home. It had to be in a safe. Nobody ever checked it, but it was one of those like safe storage laws. It's only like retroactive if something happens.
Okay. And did your dad get into sporting?
He did, but mostly shotgun, mostly trap, like American trap style. He lived. He's retired now, but he was a naval architect for a big shipping company. So he built ships basically, and traveled all over the world. And he lived in Canada for most of the 90s, and he was big into trap shooting up there. Like he got back into it while he was there, and they were him and a couple of friends. They were out 2-3 times a week, shot at least 100 rounds of trap ammo each time, more on the weekends. So,
and we'll talk about you and doing competition, but it seems like your dad kind of got into competition a little bit, maybe more than you did, or do you think you outpaced him in terms of?
It's different. He shot a lot more just because it was a lot easier there, but yeah, he was really into trap. A little bit rifle when he was younger. He was never great with pistol, but he used to be pretty good with a rifle.
Pistol's hard, man. I don't care what people say. Like, some people take to it naturally, but it's a whole other beast. It's a whole other beast. Did that like bring you guys together because you both like were into firearms? Did you talk about that kind of stuff?
We did, and we still do. And actually, when I moved over to the US, some of the guns I had I sold, and some of them I gave to him. So they're still in the family. You
don't call him a FUD, do you?
No, no, he doesn't mind. He's not a big fan of the AR platform. He prefers the FAL.
Okay. But he's totally okay with semi-automatic rifles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just prefers the FAL.
Right. Well, what is it? The right arm of the free world, as they say.
Yeah.
Right arm of the free world. Well, that's cool. So it was around you growing up.
Yeah.
And it was just normal.
Yeah.
It's like not a big deal.
No. And the same with sport shooting. And I don't know if you want to go to that yet, where I got into it, but it's a very different over there, the sport shooting scene.
And did like your neighbors and stuff, was it regular, like maybe not in every household, but it was kind of regular, people were hunted or were into it?
Yeah, out in the country anyway. Of course, it's becoming more and more urbanized. So it used to, hunting used to be a lot more common. Now, not so much, again, because there isn't a whole lot of public land. So unless you know a guy, there's not a whole. You can hunt off of most beaches, though, which would be primarily waterfowl. Waterfowl and pheasants, they tend to hang out on beaches for some reason.
Yeah. So you can like unload lead into the water?
No, it has to be lead free.
Okay, lead free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and did did you grow up in the country? Your dad was a country dude. Did you grow up in the country?
I did, yeah. Well, most of the time, whenever we were back in Denmark, because as I mentioned earlier, he traveled a lot, and up until I was 11 or 12, we traveled with him, my mom and I, and later my sister. My sister is 5 years younger than me. So we lived. When I was 2, we lived in Japan for a while, then in Holland or the Netherlands, Brazil, and Germany. Before it was about that time where my parents thought, so just to have a consistent education, you should probably stay back in Denmark. But I had a lot of good experiences with that. Went to an English school in Holland or Netherlands. An American school in Brazil, and then just German public school in Germany, and then I had a German tutor as well.
So I didn't know. We have been friends for years, and I don't fucking know any of this. This is great.
Yeah. So I traveled a lot. So I learned English earlier than my peers back there.
So you're kind of a Danish military brat, even though your dad wasn't like, he was a shipbuilder. But
it was kind of the same. It wasn't for the Navy. It was for a private shipping company, a big one, AP Møller - Mærsk. Whenever you see at ports the light blue ships with the 7-pointed white star on,
I have seen
and a red bottom, or when you see the shipping containers, light blue with a white star. That's them. They're one of the biggest shipping companies in the world. But yeah, it was kind of like being a military brat, except he wasn't. Well, he was actually military before I was born. He was in the reserves for a long time too.
And is it required in Denmark that you do your bit 2 years, 1 year, something like that?
It used to be, but now it's more like selective service. So when you're 18, you have to go in for if you're male, because still patriarchy.
Yeah.
As an 18-year-old man, you have to go in for a test to see if you're suitable, and then there's a lottery.
Okay.
And they have X amount of, I don't know how many it is now, but X amount that have to do their service, and the rest don't have to.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it has changed since I was in, but it used to be that there were enough volunteers to cover that nobody had to be forced in.
Yeah.
And the good thing about volunteering is that you could basically choose where you went.
Nice.
So
you had a little more control than the United States Army.
Yeah. And there aren't a whole lot of bases, and Denmark is small. You can basically drive from one side to the other in like 4 hours. So 3-4 hours. It's small. It's like the size of Virginia.
Okay, I was going to ask you what state it was.
Yeah, it's about the area of Virginia with the population of Minnesota.
Okay, and what was the biggest city that you grew up around? Like when you spent your most of your time in Denmark?
The closest like large town we had was Roskilde.
Okay.
Which is like an old historic town, goes back over 1,000 years now.
Okay.
That's where I went to high school. That was the nearest high school. It was still 10 or 12 miles away, but it was the nearest big town. And by big town, I mean like 50,000 people.
Yeah. Was there a bus, or did your parents have to take you in for that?
There was a bus, a train, and then a bus. But in high school, most of the years I would just bike. So I was in great shape.
Yeah, oh my God.
From biking 11, 12 miles each way every day.
And how long would that take you? About
back then, it took me like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no wonder you're like perma ripped. Like you're like perma jacked.
Well, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
But that was for high school. Before then, like elementary and middle school I went to when we were in Denmark was like a mile and a half away.
Okay.
So
all right, and so that we mentioned the military a little bit there, and in the bio to this, I will have told people that you served. So you ended up in the Danish Army, and then what we would call the Danish Special Forces. Mm-hmm. How did that process happen for you? How did you go to the Army, and then how did you end up in a Special Forces situation?
Well, long story. I was active duty for 14 years, but before that, I did 2 years a part-time volunteer with the Danish Home Guard, which is kind of equivalent to National Guard, but not quite. Just as a like weekend warrior, there was and there's a bunch of options for the training you could do there and volunteer for. And since I had a background in rifle sport shooting, I ended up signing up for the designated marksman course and passed that, and then for the rest of the time I was in the Home Guard, I did that. And then I volunteered for the military. I was a staff sergeant by 2001, and then I figured, hey, I can do some more here. I'll sign up for the officers. What's it called? OCS over here, Officer Candidate School. It's a Royal Danish Army Officer School over there. Which was fun because the day I started there was less than a week after 9/11.
Okay.
So up until then, all we had done basically, that was ex-Yugoslavia and Kosovo and that area. Bosnia, it could get hairy sometimes. I didn't go there because I came in. I started in the Army in full time active duty in '97, and we're winding down on that. So we figured it's going to be some peacekeeping, maybe some NATO, UN. I'll sign up for OCS, it's fine. And then, boom, 9/11. So, yeah, that, and I remember I'd been out, so we were on Central European time over there. So it was, I want to say in the mid-afternoon when that happened, our time. And I had a couple of weeks of PTO I needed to use, so I was just on vacation basically.
I'd gone grocery shopping. I come home, turn the TV on, see the first tower on fire, and I was like, that's pretty bad. And then saw the second plane hit.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's might have a certain influence on my future career that I just signed up for several more years after my first 4. So, yeah. And it did.
The world changed from that afternoon for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In a big way. And yeah, we were still using outdated gear, outdated weapons, more or less in some units anyway, outdated vehicles. Well, the good thing about that whole global war on terrorism was that we got a lot of funding all of a sudden and got all the cool new shit. So,
yeah. And new training?
Yeah, new training. Problem was that they couldn't really change the curriculum much while I was there, since I was
right when I started officers training. So it was still, since we hadn't been in a real war since forever, it was still based on Cold War doctrine with a little bit of NATO 90s ex-Yugoslavia peacekeeping in. So all the more Middle East specific stuff that came after. And that's when I then signed up for the Special Forces training and ended up in Iraq in a sketchy unit.
Which we talked about beforehand. Quote unquote sketchy unit.
Yeah, we did some sketchy stuff, a lot of which is probably still classified. So,
but what inspired you to do the to sign up for Special Forces training? Was it 9/11 directly?
It wasn't. It was more of a personal challenge thing. I've always done a lot of stuff just to either have done it or to see if I can do it. So that's why. Well, you know how I'm built, and I run marathons. I'm not a runner. I still do it just because.
Not only will you do it, you will not run for years or at all, and then you weigh 240 and you'll go out and run a sick time on a 5K, and everybody's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, well, I cheat and do some cardio on the road bike.
Right. Well, yes. Well, yeah, and you grew up probably on Danish farm milk and 12-mile rides to school. And you say your dad has good genetics, so I'm sure that.
Yeah, I basically look like a taller 35-year younger version of him.
Yeah.
We're spitting images.
Yeah. So. And I'm not sure if I will mention it in the bio or not, but Martin also did bodybuilding competition also. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I did one.
Well, yes.
Many years ago, but mostly
but he got in stage shape once in his life at least.
Yeah.
And
that was not fun.
Yeah. It takes a lot, but you can pack on muscle just by looking at a weight. It seems like you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, you went into the sketchy unit, Danish sketchy forces. I'm sure everything you didn't do was sketchy, but everything you guys did was probably not sketchy, but, and some of that sketchy stuff was so sketchy. We kind of talked about, you had to do a little bit of therapy, and you said all the guys had to do therapy. Is that just something that happened? Did they?
It was a thing that, I think, Denmark being a more woke country, I guess, they figured out that people who have been deployed, it doesn't even matter what they do, they should probably see a therapist before, during, and after.
Yeah.
So it became a norm that you went to see a therapist or a psychologist before you went out. About halfway through your deployment, and then when you came back home, and it was mandatory.
Yeah,
it wasn't a long chat, and it was basically if you said I feel okay, it's fine, and then you just chatted for a bit, and that was that. If you needed help, you had the option of getting more sessions, with a military psychologist, and I think that helped a lot of people. More so than oh, you're home here, have a nice life.
Yeah.
And then the whole macho. I think it was in the mid 2000s they started implementing that in the Danish military.
Yeah.
Because if you just have a culture of real men don't go and see a therapist, then you get a lot of broken men.
Yeah. Yes.
Or broken humans, because they're
I mean, it's
women
decades
too.
long of this. I think the United States is obviously catching up. We talked with Murphy about that, and he's involved in that kind of stuff. And I think they're catching up. But definitely for decades, it was like, rub some dirt on it, get back in there, or whatever that bullshit is. But that's great. And I would imagine you worked with some guys that probably maybe really needed it, like.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I've known quite a few guys that just couldn't function when they were home, even with the help. Like they would sign up for one deployment after the next just because, well, I'm home. What do I do now? It's boring. I'm used to being at the forefront of all this bullshit, and then all of a sudden I have to do my own laundry and buy my own groceries and be a normal human being. So there are a lot of people. I obviously know people who have committed suicide as well as a result of that. But and I think a lot of the people I still know that are in now that we don't have Iraq and Afghanistan anymore, they're bored.
Yeah, that's the one side is the PTSD from the impacts of combat. The other is you have a certain lifestyle, and then you have to go back to being plain Joe or plain Jane, and that fucks with people.
Oh, it does, and that's one of the. With me, it wasn't so much PTSD from what I did. Another that I wanted to touch on, another benefit I had from being in that sketchy unit was that our average age was a lot higher. I think the average was like 28 or 29, which a whole lot. That's a decade higher than your average like infantry unit. With like more life experience, not just military experience, but more life experience. And that makes a lot of difference both in how you personally handle stuff, but also that you're able to talk with your buddies about it without feeling that you have to be this macho man. So you can actually, like, you get back from a mission and you did some sketchy shit, but you can sit down with your buddies and talk about it, instead of just trying to play it off. And I think that helped a lot. With me, it wasn't so much the impact of combat. It was more that being deployed is the easiest thing in the world. Like, it's the easiest lifestyle in the world because you work and sleep. That's pretty much it. Like, you get up in the morning, like on a normal day, unless we're doing night operations. But if we're just doing regular day stuff, you get up in the morning, you'd go over to the mess tent, get food that someone made for you, go to the office. It was like 2-minute walk between each. Go up to your office, do all your planning, get in your vehicle. So like 2 minutes that way, go out on whatever operation, come back. Someone made food for you again, and you live right there. You don't have any, like, other than a job, you don't have any real like everyday responsibilities because like you need your laundry done, put it in a bag with your tag on it, throw it in a container, and you can pick up the next day. It's clean.
And it's I mean, like some of that's, well, it's necessary because you have shit to do that's kind of important, right? And so you can't really be the guy that's washing the vehicles and doing your own fucking underwear. And but I can definitely see how if you're in for a long time.
I mean, weapons, equipments, vehicles, stuff like that. We did the maintenance on those but I think that's also more of a, like, that's the stuff you need to work that you want to have like worked on. I know I cleaned my gun. I put it together right. Yeah. So, stuff like that. Yeah. But laundry, fuck laundry.
Yeah. Right. Once you're at fuck laundry, it's hard to get that out of your fucking bones.
It is like the first time I came home on leave from there. It was there's a whole side story to that gets, I don't know if it fits in the format, but what happened was I came home from leave. My parents picked me up at the airport. I got home, picked up my own car, drove to the lawyer, signed divorce papers. That's a head fuck. We had been separated for like a while before I deployed, but I had just been in a firefight 2 days
Oh
before.
my God, dude.
And then I go to the lawyer to sign divorce papers. That's a head fuck.
There are two thoughts I had about that. I was thinking about that when you were talking about the younger guys, because those younger guys are also going through divorces like fucking crazy, and spouses are leaving them because they can't adjust to the military lifestyle, and they're terrible. It's fucking dealing with money, and they're having to deal with all this other stuff. And it's, you know, that's the time where if you're not in that position, you're learning about that stuff in the civilian world, and you have all day to deal with it, or all week, or whatever. But I can't imagine what that's like to mix those things together. The other thing I wanted to mention is most people probably don't. Well, most people that are listening to this don't yet know you. Some of us do. You're a strong guy, but you're also a very hard on your sleeve, big-hearted, warm, sensitive human. Also, you're one of these big teddy bear strong people in life. So I can't imagine what that's like, being that way and being in a fucking firefight and like in a sketchy unit, and you're like a sweetheart. Like,
I think that's something I have developed since then. It's since I got out. I mean, it was always inside me, but like after I got out of active duty, I've chilled out way more.
Okay.
And they're like, now I'm just like, be nice to people until they give me a reason not to be.
You're almost like a hippie, but you would never say that because
I am.
It's that level of sweetness and like,
no, absolutely. And I know we have a lot of tensions going on here, but one of my buddies in that unit, we called him. Have you ever seen the Hot Shots movies?
Yeah, totally.
More specifically, Hot Shots 2.
I've only seen that one once. The other one I've seen multiple times, but I've seen.
The one where it's basically the Rambo parody, where the colonel goes to India or Vietnam or wherever and picks him up. Thailand, I think it is. I can't remember. Anyway, so one of the dudes in my unit, that was basically him. He was total hippie. He had one brother that was later lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and then he had his older brother was a monk in India. So he went to visit his monk brother in India for 2 weeks and ended up staying 3 years. That was before he applied for Special Forces. So he had an interesting conversation about those 3 years with the application board or admission board.
Did he carry? I would imagine he carried a lot of that stuff into his Special Forces. He couldn't have
he did
shut it off.
He did, and he was our medic too, which was perfect. Because he was really caring, and I learned a lot from him about caring for people. Just because you're a badass soldier doesn't mean that you can't
does that
care
bring
for
it
people.
into stark relief the entire thing that liberal gun owners is trying to do with simultaneous proponency, where there's this notion if you're into guns you can't be maximally moral or maximally compassionate, and it's just bullshit. It's entirely bullshit. The nonviolent don't have a monopoly on compassion. You know what I mean? And when I say the nonviolent, I mean people who don't want to ever get into violence. Some of us are okay with positive violence. We're okay with that. And there is such a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's interesting, man, because that's similar to my story, which is I was really into Buddhism and almost became a Buddhist monk. And here I am, the executive director of a gun thing. You have a buddy that went even further with it. He was in fucking India for 3 years and then he went into the Special Forces.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dope example.
Yeah. It was, he's an interesting character.
Yeah. That's amazing. This is great, man, because I'm getting to learn all this shit about you. Another good part of the thing about this podcast. So what ended up, first and foremost, what you instructed people on firearms usage when you were in, was that before the Special Forces or when you were in the Special Forces?
Yes, both. Before I even started officers training, I was staff sergeant, and I was teaching pretty much every infantry weapon.
Okay.
And it just continued. Like I kept my well, obviously, once I had my certifications, the way it worked was once you had the certification, you had the certification for that weapon system. So that just continued.
So is this like the SAW and like other machine guns and like
equivalent? Yeah, we had different ones. We had well, shit. When I started, we had most units had Asian KG3 still. That was in the 90s. And we just started getting Canadian, what's now called Canada, DeMaco C7s and C8s, which basically is an M16 variant and an M4 variant. And then it went from there, and it was everything from handguns to cruiser machine guns, heavy machine guns, good old Madus, mortars, rocket launchers.
So you taught people all that shit. I knew some of that, but that's fucking great.
Yeah, that not just that. More later, it was more. Well, I got certified to teach that, and then later it was more of the tactics, using them in like a unit setting, so
like small team stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Up to platoon
This is
size.
why sometimes when we're in Texas doing the company training, and I'm thinking in my head, why am I teaching this? Why isn't Martin?
Yeah.
And we can all. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's one of the things for the special forces specific is a much, or it was at the time anyway, over there, much more like when you do like competition classes here. So it's a lot the same setting what we're doing, and we actually had some civilian IPSC shooters come in as guest instructors for pistol, and that was super neat.
I mean, the amount of time, trigger time that you have, training time that you have is fucking, it's almost incalculable. Like you would have to think about it to like figure how long, right? So and we talk about this later on. So it should be apparent to people why it is that somebody like Martin would laugh extra hard or be extra frustrated when we're on the Facebook group and people who own guns but barely use them are fucking saying crazy shit. And Martin has to sit there and watch that. Well, we all do, but Martin especially has to sit there and watch that and shake his head like, Jesus Christ. But we're going to be talking about that here in a few minutes. When did you get out? Like, when did you stop? When were you like, okay, I think I'm done? When did that happen?
I got out in 2011.
Okay. Holy shit, that's late. I didn't know you were in that long. Jesus, man.
Yeah. I stuck around for a while. And did some less sketchy shit in between. But I got out in 2011, and they were just like, once you start having handicapped parking spots outside the battalion building, and young kids with robot arms and legs and burn scars, you see more and more of them. Then you're just like, oh, I still have all my fingers and toes.
Yeah.
So maybe I should get out while.
And who can blame you? I mean, when you first signed up, it was a totally different. It was totally different, and combat wasn't a thing. Now it's a thing.
Yeah, like common, almost in some units and in some.
And I would
operations.
imagine that those Danish units are always integrating, probably with NATO, the United States.
Yeah, usually UK. Actually, I think that's also from like a convenience standpoint. Like it's easier just to pop over to.
That's the main
the
pipeline
train
between the Danish Army and NATO would be the UK.
Okay. Yeah. In Iraq, the Danish contingent there was under the first UK
when
division.
You got out, how was your transition? Was it hard? Was it rough? Were you like, oh my god?
It was. It took me some It took some time just to get used to being a civilian after having done it for almost a decade and a half full time.
What did you go in? I mean, you're in construction now. Is that what you originally went into?
Yeah. No, I was, I worked for basically an event organizer, a German event organizer, completely different, motorcycle training and racing events. So I worked for them for a while, and that's how I ended up in the U.S. Because they were doing events over here at various tracks here. And then I I met my wife over here and ended up moving over here permanently. And then I worked retail for a motorcycle parts dealership, like big online one. I was there sales manager for a while, and then I just had enough retail because, especially as a, I don't know if you ever worked retail, but yeah, when you're the manager, the only customers you get to talk to are the ones that want to speak to the manager.
Right.
So that got really old. Through some mutual friends, I ended up in construction management. So it's like project
team management.
Planning.
If you can team manage in the fucking special forces, then that's a good translation. So that was like when you moved. So you got out in 2011. When you moved to the States, when did you move to the States? Like,
I started working over here in late 2011 and 2012. I moved over here full time at the end of 2012.
Do you remember when you joined Liberal Gun Owners Facebook? Do you remember when that was? 15, 17?
No, around that time. Yeah,
when I started seeing you. It was like between 15 and 17.
I think it was around that time.
That's
probably
crazy, man.
That's a long.
When I think about that, like my journey with it started in like at the end of 08, 09, I started trying to get in, and it was a fucking shit show, and I kept leaving and coming back and hoping it would get better. but I think about it, I was able to come in and start doing shit in 2011. And I think about that, and I think about you guys. Some of you guys weren't even in the fucking group yet. Like it was years before I would meet you. And then what the fuck were you doing? Like you were still, I was doing that shit, and you were still doing ops. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But so you got out and you did the transitioning, and when you moved over to the States, was it like, oh great, now I can do more guns because I'm in the United States?
It was part of it. Well, that was something that was on my mind too. Wow. I mean, that wasn't a reason to move over here. But it's made it a lot easier. Yeah. And as it turns out, you don't have to be a citizen to buy and own guns. You just have to be a permanent resident.
And were you in Texas? You lived in Texas right off the bat, or were you?
I lived and worked in Texas in the Austin area for a while. Then in Southeast Florida. For 6 months, I think, with my wife, and then we moved back to the Austin area. And we're about 45 minutes or an hour outside Austin.
You spent a little bit of time up here by me in one of my haunts up in Hendersonville.
Yeah. There was only a few days.
But you've at least been here. You know what's up.
Yeah.
And so now you've been doing like run and gun stuff, right? Over the past couple years. Mm-hmm. Have you gotten into any other competition stuff other than like run and gun?
Done a little IDPA and Steel Challenge, but that's mostly training for run and gun.
Yeah, but that's your main. That's like the main thing you have time for.
That's my main focus and time and desire to do because it's just so much more involved than any of the other things. It's just fun.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about America, Texas guns. You can enjoy it. You can be safe. You can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you have to know what I found out. You have to know what you're about. Like with guns, there's so many things you could do. You could so many different competition things. So many. I just don't have. I would love to, but I just have about time for self-defense stuff, and I'm open to doing some competition stuff later. But things would be different if I didn't have a lot of brain work and admin work to do too, if I could just do guns. But you got to know where you're going to spend your time, because we all have to work. We have families. We have fucking you have dogs. You travel, all that stuff.
Yeah. And with these matches, it's like 5 or 6 a year, and that's it.
You don't ever like go for the glory. Like you do it because you love it, and if you win, you win. But you're not like one of these guys that's like, I'm gonna fucking win. Like you're not.
No, and that's one of the things I do enjoy about that as well. I shoot with 2 different, or have shot with 2 different organizations. We're actually about to do a match in November with a 3rd organization, but it's a lot of the same participants. Yeah. And one of the great things about it is that all of those organizations have a strict no politics policy. So you can't show up with like political patches or shirts or anything like that. I think that the most extreme political thing I've seen was one guy that had an ammo can, had a sticker on it that says "Beto eats tacos with a fork." Which, I mean, fair, yeah.
Right. That's always been my feel. And all the times that I've been to Texas with you guys and otherwise, it's a very purple place. Like, there's so much talk about like Texas is red, but well, the places that we go to the cities, and the cities are not fucking red. I go to Dallas. Dallas is like, it's like bougie fucking middle class white people that go to fucking Whole Foods.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And most of the, so I live in a small town. We were about 17,000 people here. Most of the people I know are center left leaning.
Yeah.
Liberal, libertarian-ish, but like left libertarian.
Yeah.
And pretty much everyone has at least a couple of guns.
Yeah.
Even though they voted for Biden.
Right. Yeah. It's not, the world is not what people, I mean, of course, there are the tendencies, there's the bell curve. Mm-hmm. We get it. But, it's, the world is just not the way that the extremes paint it.
No, it's not.
By far. Yeah. So you do, a handful a year. Now, let me ask you this. Like, do you have I know you have builds, mm-hmm. you have rifles, you have fucking pistols, you concealed carry, you do fucking all that stuff. Do you have a favorite rifle? Like for competition? Like, do you have a favorite rifle? What's your favorite rifle for competition?
So it's a whole like Franken build of parts. But yeah, that's the one I use, and that will be like the next half hour probably with parts. But no, it's basically a KE Arms KP15 lower, one of those monolithic polymer lowers.
Okay.
That saves half a pound over a standard carbine lower, and thin Faxon pencil barrel, Nordic Components handguard. It's everything. It's just light on it.
Yeah.
So the rifle without optics, and it's a 16-inch rifle. It's not an SBR. It's 16-inch. Yeah. Weighs 5.5 pounds.
Nice.
So, and that's specifically for run and gun, because for those that don't know it, it's both running and gunning. It's a little like 2-gun, except you have to run between the stages. There's 7 stages. You end up doing somewhere in 6 to 10 miles in rough terrain.
Yeah.
So you don't want a heavy barrel rifle.
And sometimes that's relatively flat.
It's usually out in the hill country. And I think the last match we did was about a 10 mile. It was about 10 miles with like 22 or 2,500 feet of elevation gain.
Oh my God.
So, and you have to carry your water, your ammo, med kit, guns, all of that with you.
Yeah. And you said some of these dudes are like also marathon runners. Like they also like train hardcore long distance.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get 40% of your total score is your run time between stages.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there are plenty of people that just do it for fun, that just walk between the stages, and that's cool because they're having fun.
Yeah, it'd be neat. So, I want to try to. I don't think I could do the elevation ones because of my knee, but if it were flatter, I think I probably could.
I know, and I think there are some in North Carolina actually, and they're like, we have those organizations. They have sprint competitions too. So usually it's the full length on Saturday, and then there's a half-length one with 5 stages on Sunday.
Okay.
In the format they do it here.
Okay. That I will look into that for sure. Do you have a favorite? Let's say a favorite pistol, and then favorite concealed carry pistol.
Yeah, for general pistol, for my competitions, it's a Glock build with not a whole lot of Glock parts. Glock 17 size with red dot and stendo mags, just because then I have to change less mags when I'm shooting the matches. Right. And for concealed carry, plain old Walther PPS.
Comfortable for you, and
nice flat gun, rounded edges, not super modern and fancy, but hey, it works.
Do you still get the bug like, God, I want to buy another gun, or God, I want to buy that one? Do you feel like you've settled over the years? Like
I still buy one every once in a while if there's something specific. I built the last one. There was a home build as well. It's a PCC pistol caliber carbine that I SBR'd. So, and it's not on the freebie stamp. It's a stamp I actually paid for, but with a suppressor on it. So it's 9mm, 6 slug max, 4.5-inch barrel, 8-inch long suppressor. So it's like, well, the listeners can't see it, but it's compact. Right.
Yeah.
And super fun.
Yeah.
And I'll probably use that in a match in November, since they have a PCC class. Yeah, actually, that's a fun side note. It's the first team match I'm going to be doing. It's just 2-man teams. I'm doing it with our very own Dr. Phil.
That's awesome.
So he's probably going to do the rifle targets, and I'll take the pistol targets with the
so you
pistol
can
caliber.
like combine the. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning shit, Martin.